My father was a judge in his native country, and he and my mother were forced to flee a totalitarian regime, and they immigrated to the United States in search of freedom. I witnessed firsthand the consequences of a government out of control and what happens to individual rights when the government has no accountability. There is no constitution, there's no rule of law unless we hold our government accountable. It's the defense attorney's role to fight relentlessly to ensure that our constitutional rights are protected. When the federal government comes knocking at your door, it is an incredibly intimidating situation. The feeling of hopelessness when you're facing the daunting resources of the federal government can be overwhelming, and people come to me thinking that their life is over. They're facing deprivation of their freedom. It's a devastating experience.
I was suffering from a substance abuse and an alcohol addiction. I was desperate, and I had an individual that utilized my vulnerability to put me in a place where he took advantage of me. So I was involved in a money laundering wire fraud scheme, and at that time I was facing between 7.5 and 8 years. That's when I got in touch with Hope Lefeber. It was an amazing experience. The judge ended up sentencing me to 1 year and a day. Thank God it wasn't 72 to 84 months. I don't know what I would have done. I would be struggling to be able to provide for my family. I felt very comfortable going into this and putting my life and my freedom in her hands. And by her experience and her excellence, we're able to get 1 year and a day sentence.
In 2007, there was a gentleman coming to my store to buy money orders to send to a country in Latin America. After a while, I became concerned about the number of transactions he was processing through our store, and I asked my staff to discontinue doing business with him. Shortly thereafter, government came in and accused us of money laundering and structuring. I was looking at jail time, and the federal government, they try to scare you with that, try to get you to confess to something that you didn't do. Hope fought hard for me in a jury trial in federal court. I was found not guilty on all charges, thanks to her hard work and determination. I felt elated and relieved when the verdict came in. It makes me feel angry that an innocent person just trying to earn a living can be caught up in this situation. And if it can happen to me, it can happen to anyone. When I started working with Hope, she was uplifting, encouraging. I always felt that I had a chance.
I work with teams of investigators, accountants, whatever is necessary for the case to best meet my client's needs. When people come to me, they're facing enormous odds. I am extremely aggressive, tenacious, and represent my client to the fullest. We can and we will fight this so they can return to their loved ones and this horrible episode can be put behind them.